Who doesn't love some good old-fashioned farm fresh eggs? Well, if you're in Pottawattamie County, you could be a step closer to getting them right in your own home. 3 News Now Western Iowa reporter Isabella Basco shows us what the county has in store.
Urban farming is becoming more and more popular, and there are efforts to bring more of it into Pottawattamie County. Chick, chick. Here, girls, come on.
Becca Doolittle could give some advice. She convinced her husband to build this chicken coop 5.5 years ago. An urban farmer who lives in Elkhorn, she says chickens are the best thing her family decided to do.
They eat all the bugs. We really don't have a big bug problem in our backyard at all. We also are able to use their bedding as compost for our garden for the fall and the winter months.
It might surprise you that property owners in rural parts of the county aren't allowed to have the birds. This kind of passion is why Pot County Planning and Development Director Matt Wyant is proposing an urban chicken ordinance. It would be for those who live on less than an acre of pasture and in some residential areas. A permit would let them have up to 12 chickens. He's heard from many people.
Some of them they like to have chickens as pets. I mean, there's some pretty decorative chickens out there. Others want to get the eggs, and some of them raise them for the butchering possibilities of it.
But county leader Justin Schultz isn't too keen on the idea.
I never in my time as supervisor in the last 7.5 years thought that I would be dealing so much with chickens.
One of Schultz's biggest issues is inspectors having to verify if coops are set up correctly.
There's a lot of folks out there that just feel like the local government should be staying out of their business. And so as a supervisor, I represent those people too.
But Doolittle says a good flock shouldn't ruffle too many feathers.
If somebody wants to go into chickens, do it. What you got to say, huh? Do it right in respectfulness to your neighbors. I think that's really important.
Isabella Basco, 3 News Now.
Oh, all right.
It will cost money to apply for a permit. That fee will be set at the next meeting on Tuesday. The man suspected of shooting into 2 homes, one in Carson, Iowa, and the other in Trainer, will stand trial. We showed you the damage last month. Prosecutors say Brock Livingood took aim at the houses in the middle of the night. He faces a variety of charges. Livingood is out on bond. According to his lawyer, trial is set for November 15th at the courthouse in Council Bluffs. President Biden is meeting today with the family members of 2 U.S. citizens imprisoned in Russia. He will discuss all efforts to get U.S. basketball star Brittany Griner and security executive Paul Whelan back to the U.S. safely. Skylar Henry has more from the White House.
For the first time, President Joe Biden is meeting in person with the wife of WNBA star Brittany Griner and the sister of ex-Marine Paul Whelan separately on Friday, as his administration works to free both from Russian prisons.
The president felt it was important to continue the dialogue with the family members.
Griner was arrested on drug charges at a Russian airport in February and later sentenced to 9 years in a penal colony. She pled guilty, telling the court she had mistakenly brought vape cartridges containing cannabis oil into the country.
No crime.
Whelan was detained back in 2018 and later convicted of spying. He says he's innocent.
We have put forward a substantial proposal to Russia. We are looking at additional steps to take to make it clear that countries that engage in these practices will pay a real price.
According to a person familiar with the proposal, the U.S. has reportedly offered jailed Russian arms dealer Victor Bout for prisoner swap. The administration is using similar channels it used to free another American, ex-Marine Trevor Reed, earlier this year. Attorney Jonathan Franks assisted in the efforts to bring Reed home after he spent nearly 3 years in a Russian jail.
I think we'll eventually get to a deal. The open question is, how long do the Russians make us sweat?
Earlier this week, the Biden administration distanced itself from former UN Ambassador Bill Richardson's unconnected trip to Russia. Richardson has independently worked on detainee cases in the past. The State Department said any negotiations outside of official government channels could hinder its efforts to get Griner and Whelan released.
The Biden administration says so far the Russians have not accepted their offer and adds that the president is not going to let up on negotiations. King Charles and his 3 siblings stood vigil at their mother's side. For 15 minutes, the royal four paying tribute to Queen Elizabeth II as she lies in state at Westminster Hall. On Saturday, the Queen's 8 grandchildren will stand vigil beside her coffin. Prince William at the head and Prince Harry at the foot. And at the Queen's request, the brothers will again walk side by side on Monday, following her coffin to the funeral. Queen Elizabeth may have lived in a palace, but she felt at home in the stables. That passion led to an unlikely friendship with a California cowboy. Here's CBS's Mark Strassman.
And this is the Queen's hallway.
Improbably, indelibly, Monty Roberts became Queen Elizabeth's horseman and more.
Her Majesty has treated me as if I was a younger brother.
Roberts revolutionized horse training, taming horses using a silent language of kindness. In 1989, the Queen, with her lifelong love of horses, invited him to her stables at Windsor Castle.
I thought she was a groom. I said, "Nice to meet you." And I stepped back and I went, "Oh my God. Oh, you're the Queen." And she, yes, last time I checked.
Handwritten letters and annual Christmas greetings framed their 3-decade relationship.
Did you consider her a friend?
I would call her Her Majesty. But the friendship was deep.